I have a question for you. Actually, several. What are you holding onto? What stuff do you have stashed and stored? Old clothing? Bad habits? Worn out beliefs? Guilty? I find them all the time. I don't know about you. But it reminds me that there are places within me that are tight, that are restricted. And what I know about that is it's time to say to those, bye-bye. Bye-bye. And to consider something new. To bring some newness into life. And this science of mind teaching, for me at least, offers a myriad of avenues which assist in clarifying what that takes, which is spirit, which is God. Call it whatever you will. Find the perfect name that fits you. In clarifying spirit, we find out what spirit is in this teaching, and the way spirit works, and how to utilize spirit in your life. Most of us don't know how to work it. You know how to work it? Anybody know how to work it? Well, guess what? You're working it. That's why clarifying how to work it, how to use it, oh my gosh, it's so important. Otherwise, you go along blindly in this maze of hit the wall, over the speed bump kind of life. I've been there. Not as much anymore, but I think, I don't want to say believe, it could be a little bumpy in the future, but I have a road, I have a kit to fix that. It's called spiritual truths. Well, we wander along sometimes, but we also meander toward, and we hunger for what I like to call the yet to be known. The yet to be known. We wander and meander, unsure of the path we've chosen many times. And yet, we proceed, don't we? At times, I know I've tripped and stumbled and fallen along the way. Anyone else? Nobody. Oh, two. We'll talk later. Oh, there's a lot. Oh, hey, it's a party. So I've done that. And like a child learning to walk, there are times I've skinned my knees in my path. But like a child, you get up and you move forward. And there are other times when, we go merrily along, whistling a happy tune, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, skipping down the yellow brick road toward the Emerald City. La, la, la. But what I know about this is that life is a process. And unfolding of and awakening to our divine nature is that process. It's a process of moving into our next level of understanding. In the Bible, Romans 13:11, yes, I'm using the Bible. Now is the time to awake out of sleep. Which translates to the belief in life that it's apart from good. And that is a dream. That belief is a dream from which we must awake. If we are to move forward, we must taste the waters of reality. Ernest Holmes writes, and I quote, "This awakening is a process of evolution, a little here, a little there, until the whole eye is opened and we see that life is neither separate from God nor different from good." God, good. See that? Life is God and good is the only power there is, or can be. End quote. This process of our evolution, I believe, is a hunger. It's a hunger for wisdom, which I refer to as the inner urge of spirit. It's a hunger, it's an urge. And it is this hunger which evolves us and also supports us and validates us through our lives. I call it my spiritual mover and shaker. Because, it moves us and sometimes it shakes you. Wake up! But it does that. It moves us. It moves us. This hunger to know more of who we are. Again, I quote Ernest Holmes. "The whole being needs to be fed. Bread and meat for the body, knowledge and wisdom for the soul, atmosphere and consciousness for the spirit." I'm going to repeat that. I think it's very important here this morning. The whole body needs to be fed. Bread and meat for the body, knowledge and wisdom for the soul, atmosphere and consciousness for the spirit. So, beloveds, you are called this morning to grasp the truth of you. How? Well, I believe first by releasing that which no longer provides joy. Is there any part of your life that is not providing you joy right now? There's probably one, if you search. Maybe just one. Or the perception that it's not giving you joy. It may be leading you to joy. Oh my God. All right. When we release that which no longer provides joy, we can do that through forgiving of yourself and others for whatever happened in the past. Whatever happened in the past. Forgiving yourself and others. And then blessing and praising it all. That's been a challenge at times for me. Praising it for being in my life. Because many times when it's happening for us, we feel it's happening to us. And I've been stuck in the to me in my life as I look and do the scan back. Now, why do I say bless and praise all of it? Because the past is always a blessing. The past is always a blessing. For it provides the necessary experience and awareness for you to arrive here at this point of greater wisdom. Right here is always a place of greater wisdom. There's no place else. There's no place to really get to. It's not a place out there. It's a place now. We can search for the wisdom, the greater awareness of wisdom, but the wisdom arrives through the awareness. Our own. Our own. And I believe by immersing ourselves in the necessary experience, all those that have come before, and awakening to the divine idea of good then occurs. An awakening occurs. John Boyle's affirmation today. Forgiveness severs the ties that bind me from fully expressing the love that I am. Out of the visual, forgiveness severs the bonds. Releasing and forgiving opens you to transcending all previous conditions, to a greater awareness. You like that bird? A-A-H. Awareness. Because there is wow. I hadn't thought of it like that. Awareness. An unknown author writes, perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. I love creating. Do you? I do. I want to share an experience happening now. James and I are in the evolutionary process of creating a new home. Lots of choices, lots of decisions, and oh my gods. As some of you might know from doing any project with more than just yourself. Well, my affirmation of truth, no matter the category in this life, has been for a long time. This, or something greater. Because it keeps the opportunities and the possibilities open to create from source to something greater than I could imagine. I could imagine quite a lot. Quite a lot. And so it keeps me open. And there are times in situations when my demonstrations, like I said, far exceed what I can humanly visualize. Thus, I'm careful not to outline or limit possibilities that reside just beyond what I can see. So here's what happened on July 23rd of this year. Signed for a piece of property. We thought it was the perfect one. At the time it was. There was a easement coming into the property. I shared part of this story. There's easement coming into the property from the back, all across the backyard, 21 feet, which meant almost 40% of our backyard space would not be able to be used for like swimming pool, anything permanent. It could just be flowers and trees, certain kinds, because PG&E had to get in if needed. All right? We thought, well, the next day was when we found this out. It was not disclosed. Not on purpose. It just wasn't. And so we said to ourselves, this changes everything. Well, disclosure is a good word. It's a good word to keep in mind for our own selves, our own disclosures, which propel us into something greater will pop up. There could be a feeling that says, don't do this, or do this, slow down, speed up, don't drive on that road. Those are little disclosures of spirit. And it came at the right time. Because of that disclosure, we were able to negotiate for another lot and building site that is more perfect. It's the best lot there. It was not available when we signed on the 23rd. And we got it for the same price, and we got it for the same completion date without asking. And so I tell you that because as the foundation goes in, like in life, we want to make sure we have the place that's best for us to build. that idea, to build that part of ourselves and create out of that place. And it became quite profound to me when all the footings and all the foundation and all those support boards for the foundation were pulled away, and here was the foundation. And it feels so right. It feels so perfect for this creation. So more to come. But it's just every time this happens for me, I'm just so aware of how profound when we are being conscious, how profound life is, and how much it supports us with its good. In this month's book, the read of the month, A World Without Fear, Release Your Fears, Reclaim Your Joy, I want to share a few words that tie in with understanding and wisdom and fears. He wrote this, and I quote, "We cannot legislate fear and hatred away, police it away, kill it away, ignore it away, or hate it away. Fear and hatred can only be resolved through investing in each other and teaching each other and creating consciousness, understanding, mutual trust, respect, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Unless we are willing to place these as our priorities, fear and hatred will go on endlessly." End quote. And I thought it interesting I was conscious of the call out this morning for healing and all the words that came through and how it ties in with our themes and all of this part. There is only one. And every time I'm here, it's so profound to connect in this oneness. So, from his words, conscious understanding coupled with love and trust and forgiveness begins with you and begins with me. It's the understanding that opens you to a greater grasp of God's wisdom. Do you know what grasp means? I first thought it was like, hang on to it. But one definition is to embrace. Within reach of the arms. Because in Science of Mind, we don't teach holding on. We don't teach the tight grip of outlining God's good for us, as evidenced by my home story. We just open it up. We embrace it. We allow it to come to us within arm's reach. Wisdom is a point of new beginnings in your creative process. Remember I mentioned we never stay in wisdom? For me, it's a start over for the next creative thing. It's called a creative process. And according to your life, it's a bestseller. Did you know that? But it's a $1 million bestseller when you're the author of that book. Because your novel, which is within you, it's within your grasp. Your staff, called Creative Medium, awaits. And all you need to do is begin believing good for yourself. And that brings me to subjective law, which is the creative medium, Science of Mind class. Ernest Holmesdale says we should grasp the idea of universal subjectivity Subjectivity, your subject, your staff, your server. Universal subjectivity, the potentiality of all things, the divine creative medium. And this is the principle through which we are able to demonstrate. He goes on, we are surrounded by a mind or intelligence that knows everything. That the potential knowledge of all things exists in this mind. That the abstract essence of beauty, truth, and wisdom coexist in the mind of the universe. That we also exist in it and may draw from it. So, beloved, your grasp of the truth of you depends upon how open and supportive you are for the love that resides within you. Releasing, forgiving, and immersing yourselves in a new idea. I had a chance to immerse myself a few years ago in Hawaii. It was a men's retreat, with one exception. But it's a different story. Anyway, it's the men's retreat from our center. And it was in Kealakekua Bay on Maui. And so, Big Island, Hawaii. Okay. So, and this bay is very known as a safe haven for dolphins. It's when the pods bring in their young, and they're spinner dolphins. And to watch them teach the little ones to, first they're going, no, it's like this. They go, kind of like us, huh? Skinning their knees. They don't have knees. But for me, what I found about the oneness, the connection, being surrounded by mind, and this immersed in the intelligence. I'm by myself, and here come a pod of dolphins under the water. So I go down a little bit, I'm snorkeling, and I'm thinking, I'm going to get a little closer to these, and here they are, I would do this, they would do this. Okay. They kept this perfect space between them and me, and also between themselves, if you've ever seen them. They just move in this beautiful unison, totally in tune and in touch in this universal substance called water. And for me, it was so profound because I didn't have to go, hey, dolphins, I want to move closer. No, there's something within that knows. It's perfect space, perfect movement. And so I use that a lot when I have doubt about the perfection of nature and God. And it's just such a profound feeling, because I truly was in that water. If you get a chance, I recommend it. Where is the dolphin lady here today? Where is it? There she is. I just had one little experience. You've had, I don't know. How many? Do you know? 10. Am I right on that sense of, they just don't let you, no. Correct, yeah. Awareness. So I have a closing affirmation for us today. And if you'll repeat after me. I'm a mover and shaker of spirit. I fully immerse myself in the greater good of this life, grasping with an open heart the truth of me. Namaste. And so it is. Spirit choir.